Hello guys, it's your boy Nattle. So today I'm gonna make a quick video before I start my stream. This is a long requested UI weakaura macro video, okay? It's not very complicated, at least not the macro stuff, but I figured I would just go over everything in one fell swoop, alright? So we're gonna start out with the macros here. I have a bunch of different ones here that I don't use, so please disregard that. These are all, I don't use all of them. So you can see on my bars here on R, I have for Adrenaline Rush, I have this one. It's just, we can remove this, I was just using that for PvP, but alright, so Adrenaline Rush and use 13. That's just my trinket. So I just bind my trinket into Adrenaline Rush because I want to use it every time Adrenaline Rush is up, right? That way I don't have to have a separate bind for my trinket either. I can just press Adrenaline Rush again when I want my trinket, because sometimes I use my trinket with Between the Eyes. But yeah, that's it for the Adrenaline Rush. Then the two important macro. Actually, there are three macros that I use other than this one. So this one is super basic. But there are three macros that I use other than this one that's really good. So this one is my main attack macro. It's a cast, stance, ambush, Sinister Strike. So this makes it so when you're in stealth, you cast ambush, and when you're not in stealth, you cast Sinister Strike, and it also starts your attack on the closest target. So it just helps you keep up your attack uptime. Yeah, because in my UI setup I don't use a stealth bar, so I just press my stealth like you will see here, boom, and I go into stealth, and nothing changes on my bars, like nothing. So that's why this is really nice, because then I can just use the same button. Like after I vanish, I just use the same button and then just keep spamming it for Sinister Strike. You know, it helps a lot. It saves me one keybind, so I like that. Then after this one we have my Marked for Death macro. It's a mouse over exists harm target macro. Sorry, I was running around there on my screen. I promised I shouldn't do that this video, so I'm not gonna do that, okay? All right, so Marked for Death. This one makes it so when you mouse over a target, when you're pressing Marked for Death will go on that target. If there is no mouse over, then it will use it on the target, like your current target. This is really nice, because I used to use a mouse over macro, just a simple mouse over macro, without the target thing, and then it's like, if you try to use it on the raid boss, for example, you have to mouse over the raid boss to use it, and it was a little bit annoying. So I like this one a lot. It does, however, mean that if you miss your mouse over slightly, or sometimes it like bugs out, or if the boss hitbox is big or something, then you can mark for death the wrong target, right? But it's not the end of the world if you mark for death the wrong target. So I feel like this is still worth it. This is still a really good macro to have. Because then if there's like you're fighting the boss, if there's a low ad, you just mouse over and press this macro, and it will mark for death on that ad without you even having to switch target or anything. So that's why I really like this macro. Then we have a third macro that is very important, especially in Shadowlands. It's tricks, for tricks of the trade. So I just have a at focus. You can also do, I think, at party 1, because if you make the tank the leader, he will always be party 1 on your frames. So if you make the tank the leader, then you can just do party 1 if you want to put a different focus, or you don't want the focus there or something. But I like having a focus of the tank, because then I see if the tank is dying or something like that. So I use this macro all the time, and basically you want to use tricks of the trade before every pull, and when there's any new additions to the pull. If you have it up, you should use it. So that's basically my macros right there. Yeah, it's not very complicated. I don't have any crazy macros or anything like that. It just does what I need it to do, and that's it. So now we're gonna move on to the Weakaura section, right? Let's see. No, the add-ons section first. Sorry. So we're gonna move on to the add-ons section. I have a lot of add-ons, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I'll go through the list here so you know what's going on. For my bag, I use Bagnon. It makes the bag into one big bag, which I really like. Bartender 4, we will get back to this one. Bigwigs is my boss mod. I don't use deadly boss mods anymore. I use bigwigs. I don't really know why. I just trying different things. I don't really have a preference. My damage meter is details. Exorcist raid tools for like raid stuff. Handy notes is it puts stuff on your map. If you've seen me have stuff on my map like this, it tells me like what I need to do to get the rares and stuff like that, and get the chests and stuff. It's pretty nice. Then hide talking head. That is a very nice underrated add-on. Only loadable on demand. I don't know what that means, but I think, well, what it does anyway is when you're in a dungeon or something, and like the boss is talking, you see like the bottom of your screen, like the boss is talking, like there's a chat window for the boss. It just removes it from your screen. It's just whoop, and it's gone, dude. And I really like that because I don't like to see a bunch of frames on my screen and stuff. So I like this one. Leatrix Plus, I think it auto accepts quests or something. I don't really know. I used it when I was leveling. I don't think I use it anymore for anything. I have it enabled, but I don't think I use it. This one just helps add-ons function, mostly Leatrix. Little Wigs is big wigs, but for dungeons. Move anything is nice because you can move anything. Like I move my tooltip, for example. I move my tooltip up. You can see it on the right side of my screen right now, my tooltip. Instead of it covering my whole DPS meter and everything, I move the tooltip to the side like that. You can also move a lot of other stuff, but most of my UI is done through Bartender that I will get into. But yeah, move anything. Then we have Mythic Dungeon Tools. It's basically a mandatory add-on for running Mythic Plus. Like you need to have it. Because it shows you paths like this, and the tank can link you what path he's going to take and stuff, so it's really important. Nicedamage. I have a lot of people asking me about Nicedamage. It's I will link the download link down below, but I'll show you what it does first. So it just makes my target numbers, or my damage numbers, it makes them like into block letters. You can see like they're like block letters. They're different from the regular stuff. So it's not on CurseForge or on Twitch or wherever you download your add-ons. It's not on there. So you have to go into the link below and download it. It's from 2004. It haven't been updated since 2014. So it's quite an old add-on, but it works fine for me. I've been using it for forever, since Legion. I really like it. I think it's a nice addition, and yeah, I'll put the link down below where you can download it. Then we have OmniCC. It just puts a number on your cooldown. So when I press my roll the bones here, it says 43, 42, 41. It doesn't do that otherwise. I think there's a setting now. They added it to the game. There's a setting where you can make it so your abilities will display this number, but like in the interface, like the regular Blizzard UI, but I haven't looked into that much further. OmniCC does the job I needed to do. Pawn, I've gone over it in my Sim Yourself video from like 2 years ago, and it still works the same way. You just get stat weights when you sim your character, and then you use them with Pawn, and then when you mouse over an item, you can see if it's an upgrade to you. Like this one, you see it's a 3% upgrade. And stuff like that, but it's yeah, that's a different video entirely. I'm not gonna do any simulate stuff in this video. Plater, it's the plates on the mobs you can see here. It's how this is the standard plater. I don't have any it's not any extra stuff with the plater. It's the default settings, everything like that. So I hope the bells in the background is not bothering you. It's 12 o'clock, so it's the church. Yeah, can't do anything about that. I have the door open though, because my dog is outside. I like to keep the door open when I can, so I can keep track of him. Raider.io, of course, it's Raider.io. It does what it does. It's it is what it is. It does what it does. It gives you, like, shows your ranking, like your rating in Mythic Dungeons and stuff. But yeah, Simulation Craft. When you type /simc in game, you get a thing that you can put in raid bots and sim yourself. It's really useful, and you really should do it. But I already have a video from 2 years ago called Sim Yourself that you can check out. Trophy GCD. It shows my buttons here. It shows what abilities I press down in the corner here. You see, like, to the right of all my abilities. It shows, like, exactly what buttons I use and stuff. So it's good when I'm streaming or when I'm making videos. People can see what I'm doing, because people like to see what I'm doing. Then we have Weakauras. We will go over my Weakaura settings soon. World Quest Tracker. I think that just does tracks. I mean, it tracks world quests. Wowhead Looter is just a database thing, like, for Wowhead. But World Quest Tracker is like, up here you can see, like, what world quests are available and stuff. But I don't do world quests anymore, so I don't really need this. But it is what it is. All right, and then we have the two big ones, right, that I didn't talk about was Bartender 4 and Weakauras. So Bartender 4 and Weakauras, I've integrated both of them into my UI. So first thing I did to make this UI is these health bars and stuff, they're the default ones. So I right click my health bar, I go into here, it says move frame, and then I unlock frame. And then I drag it from the top left down to the center. The reason I do that is because I want everything to be here. Like, you can see the theme of my my UI is that everything is centered around the bottom of my character, and that's because I don't want to miss anything under my character, because that's when you die, when you miss stuff under your character. So I have everything centered around the below my character. So I'm constantly have my vision in this area, which helps me dodge a lot of things. It's actually really useful, because if you, let's say you don't have any buttons here and you just look at the bottom of your screen, then you're going to get distracted and sucked into the complexity of your bars, and then you're not going to see a lot of stuff going on below you. And same thing up here, if you have your health to the left, you're not going to keep very good track of your health or your energy. So I like to have my health bar down here, so I can really, like, see what's going on. So the way I have this set up is I have cast bar underneath, that puts the cast bar under here. Which is nice. And then I have this one, like my target, I right click and I put buffs on top. That's just to put the buffs on top here, because I don't want a bunch of extra stuff below here. You could put the buffs below as well. It's preference, but I like to have the buffs up here, because then I can see them easier while I have my focus here, in case there's, like, a buff or something I need to enrage, or I need to shiv to remove an enrage or something. It's easier to see for me if they're above. Okay, so that's the default. That's what you can do with the default UI. You can move your bars or your health bars and do that as you wish. Then the bar in between here, where I have my abilities, it's actually not the Weakaura. A lot of people think this is a Weakaura, but it's not a Weakaura, it's an add-on. It's Bartender 4. So it makes a lot of things different. But one thing that it does is you can make a bar here and just put spells here. And the reason I have this instead of a Weakaura is because when, for example, okay, I want to play Killing Spree, then I can just click Killing Spree and then just move Killing Spree there. Boom. And then you don't have to do a bunch of extra configuration and stuff like that. So if you want a different ability or you want to change something, or like, it's really easy to change. Just drag it out. Wait, there we go. Just drag it out like that. Boom, and then it's done. So that's why I really like that. But yeah, I'll show you my Bartender here. So you can mess around a lot with this. I haven't really, but lock, boom, here you can go. So you can change everything. You can change where your bag is. You can change where your character micro menu is, extra action bar, sidebars, everything. You have access to a lot of bars that I'm not using as well. And this is my mount bar. Everything like that. It's like you have a lot of settings here you can mess around with. I've changed the padding on every bar to 0. I think it's default set to like 5, but it makes the buttons more spread out. So I like this better. But here you can just click and move things. This is my vehicle bar. I can just click and move. So it's actually pretty nice. I like that a lot. So I put one bar here in the middle with my CDs and like things that I want to keep like 100% uptime on, if possible, right? I want to like not miss any of this. And then I've also put a bar below here where I put my more defensive CDs. Although Vanish could be classified as an offensive CD, but I put here, and I also have my kick here because kick is really important to monitor in dungeons. But I also have a weakaura for my kick, so I could replace kick with maybe gouge or kidney shot because both of those are really usable as well in dungeons. So that's my bartender settings. I mean, they're pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I just have some bars set up here, and you can set them up however you want. I've chose to put one bar here with my CDs in the middle, and one bar here with my defensives. But yeah, this is not the weakaura. So then I talked about my mount bar. If I press F1 on my keyboard, then my bar switches to like mounts and poisons and stuff that I don't really use in combat. So that's why I have that. So it's just like if I want to mount, I press F1 and then Shift 1, and then I get my mount, right? Or I can get my little kyrian slave to give me potions, and yeah, that's how I have it set up. It's not very complicated at all. You can also do it like I told you. You don't have to have a stealth bar. You can disable that by going to, I think it's this one, yeah. So you make sure no bar has this or this. So hide this bar in a specific stance or form or stuff like that. You make sure everything's turned off here and only enabled up here, so you don't have a stealth bar. And you also, sorry about that. When you do key bindings, then you just click key bindings there, you mouse over something, and then you press whatever binding you want when you mouse over it. So it's really easy to set key bindings too. I really like this add-on, to be honest. I think it does the same as another add-on that's very popular. I don't remember the name, but I think it's called Dominoes. But yeah, this Bartender 4 does the job for me. Very nice. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to Weakauras. Weakauras is a little bit more complicated, right? It's a lot more stuff to do. So I'll go through all my different Weakauras that I use here and what their purpose is, right? So we'll start with the Rogue Debuff Tracker. It's not mine. It's just a very basic for Roll the Bones, right? I have all my rolls here, my different ones. That's basically all it does. So I'll put it in the description for you. I'll put all these Weakauras in the description, but this one is, it just does this. Puts your Roll the Bones below your, or wherever you want it. I mean, you can drag it around and do everything. And the way you import an add-on is you copy the text that I'll put in the paste bin below, like in the text link. You copy the text, you press import, and then you put it in here, and then it's done. So my first Weakaura is Roll the Bones. You can put it wherever you want. Then I have this one. It's just a text add-on that comes up when you're dead. It's so you don't release, because in Mythic Plus it can be really bad to instantly release sometimes. So that's why I have this one. It's supposed to say you fucking ape, but I shortened it because it was too long, man. It was too long. Just like came off my screen and stuff. So whatever. Inscrutable Quantum Device. I have this for my trinket. It shows when my trinket will heal or give someone mana. I don't want to heal or give someone mana with my trinket, because it's generally very inefficient to do that in like group combat. In single target combat you can use it as like a lay on hands, which is really OP, but and you can use it as a PvP trinket as well. But in group combat it's really bad. So I just use this to tell me when it's gonna heal or when it's gonna give mana. Otherwise, it just tracks the CD of it, right? Like when it's like this, that means if I use it, I will get stats, and then it shows me I get crit here, and then I get a little orb flying around there. The numbers are double on this. It's because of my Omni CC add-on, but I haven't been bothered to fix it, because it doesn't bother me that much that there are two different sets of numbers there. It doesn't bother me. The next Weakaura is called Kyrian Points. I've made this one. It's part of Rogue Utility. I should really put them in the same group, but I'll link both of them down below. Rogue utility, that's my combo points. It's like a F1 Formula 1 car. It's really funny. My viewers, they were all red before, but my viewers suggested that I should make them like a Formula 1 car, so I did. It's like first green, then red, and then blue. So these are my combo points. And the reason I have my combo points here is because I want them really centered. It's really important for me to manage my combo points good, so I put them here in the center. And also, having your combo points on your character, sometimes when I came into cutscenes, it would disable my default Blizzard UI combo points, so I couldn't see them. And I had to reload my UI, and like that happening in Mythic Plus, like it happened a lot in Spires of Ascension, and like you can't reload in the middle of a Mythic Plus, like it doesn't work. I mean, you can, but it's really bad. You're probably gonna die. So I chose to make a Weakaura for this instead. So I have this Weakaura here. It shows, yeah, just your combo points. And when you don't have deeper stratagem, it just shows 5 and so on. And this is paired with my Kyrian points, which is it just shows whatever, it shows a blue square above whatever combo point is empowered by your Kyrian ability, if you play Kyrian. So if you don't play Kyrian, you don't need this. But if you play Kyrian, you want to know which ability is, or you want to know which, let's see here, you want to know which combo point is empowered. So I'll show you. If I do this, it shows me the third one is empowered. So then I just need to build up to 3, and then there you go. And then it goes away when, yeah, that's just so. So it's just a very simple combo point Weakaura. Kyrian points and rogue utility. I'll link both of these down below. Mythic plus keys Shadowlands is just a text command. You type in the chat. Everyone's key gets posted in your party. That's good, because sometimes you want to see what keys people have. And then last but not least, we have a really big one. It's my Weakaura that I made back in Legion, and now I've remade it for Shadowlands, and I keep improving it every day. So it's the version you see on stream in a few days might be slightly different from this one, but yeah, it's still gonna be pretty much the same, right? So here we go. All right. So this is my biggest Weakaura by far. I'll go over everything here. We'll make sure we hide everything that we don't want to see. Like this one, we should hide that. Should hide the Kyrian points. All right, now this is all that's on the screen now in terms of Weakauras in this box here. That's my Weakaura. So it has a lot of stuff here on it that you can see. It has shadow blades and stuff, but the reason there are question marks here is because they are for sub. So there shouldn't be any question marks when you start playing, unless you have a different language package, like if you play on like a German client or a Spanish client or a something else, you know, Chinese client, I don't know. But then it's gonna be a lot of question marks, but it shouldn't otherwise. So it's pretty basic. It has up here, it has some utility timers. So the utility timers is just when I press my evasion, it shows here how long I have. When I press my cloak, it shows how long I have. When I shroud, it shows how long I have. The shroud one is really important. Like being able to see how long your shroud is left is really good. I should make it so it announces in the chat when it's like 5 seconds left, but I haven't got around to doing that. So maybe at some point I will. But yeah, it just shows your in here. It just shows your very basic stuff, right? Mark for Death is here all the time. When I have the talent selected, it just shows when Mark for Death is off cooldown, so I don't miss it. So there you go, and it shows the cooldown of Mark for Death also. So that's just there all the time to help me manage Mark for Death. Because yeah, managing Mark for Death can be pretty annoying in dungeons and stuff. So that's why I have a mouse over, I have a Weakaura, I have everything to try to help me use Mark for Death better. In the middle of my screen here, you can see there's a Blade Flurry icon. It shows when Blade Flurry is active. And when I'm in combat, I'm gonna show you. When I'm in combat and Blade Flurry comes off cooldown, you're gonna see that this on my bar, even though it's not a weakaura, it's a bartender, but I put a weakaura on top of it. So when I'm in combat, it's gonna start blinking red like that, because that means that I have to use Blade Flurry, man. But I was gonna put it in the middle of the screen, but then it would piss me off when I'm doing single target, right? So this is a new addition overall to my weakaura that I haven't been using before. It like I've made some buttons blink red if you don't use them. This is to help you keep your uptime on different things. So for example, here Slice and Dice, I don't have Slice and Dice up, so this one is blinking red. It's like, yeah, Slice and Dice is missing, you know, it's like very bad. So you put Slice and Dice up, the red stuff goes away. Here, it shows Blade Flurry, right? It's blinking red, so Blade Flurry, I use that. So, and then it comes up on my screen here to help me manage it, so I can see easier when it's about to go out, so I can try to refresh it, but yeah. And then the last one that's blinking red is Roll the Bones. I've made a very simple but very useful weakaura for Roll the Bones here. It will blink red if you are supposed to reroll generally. I can't make a weakaura that tells you when to reroll perfectly in every scenario. Sometimes you don't want to reroll even if you have a bad buff. Sometimes you want to keep 2 buffs, for example, even if they're not the best. So you can't just blindly trust that, but it should help you quite a bit. So what it does is it blinks red. It lights up red if you're missing Ruthless Precision, Skull and Crossbones, and Broadsides. So if you have one of the bad buffs, so here I have a good buff. So now you see it's not gonna blink because I have one buff. And then let's see if we can get it off CD here. So we're just gonna get our Roll the Bones off CD so I can show you. Watch me not get a bad roll now, just because I'm trying to show you. Okay, so and then we reroll, and we can remove Broadsides. So now you're gonna see it's let's see, can we? Oh, we can't even remove Broadsides. Cancel our Broadsides. No, you can't. But let's say you only have Buried Treasure. Then it's gonna start blinking red because it's gonna be like, yeah, you have a shit buff, you should probably re-roll it, right? But it's not like a smart TV knife. It's not like a smart weakaura. It's not gonna like play the game for you or anything. It's just gonna tell you if you have a bad buff, you know. Like here, yeah, I have Skull and Crossbones here, is part of these two, so it's not gonna reroll. But let's say you get Grand Melee and Buried Treasure. Then it's gonna tell you should probably reroll, man. Like Buried Treasure and Grand Melee, it's not that good, man. So I generally just reroll when it tells me to reroll, which is really nice. But it's not always gonna be the best. So you definitely want to make sure you understand when you should reroll and stuff like that. But a lot of the time it will actually help a lot. Let's see if we can get a bad roll now, just to show you. No, we can't get a bad roll. So only happens in my raids, man. But yeah, it will blink red if you have a bad roll, one of the 3 bad rolls. So if you have Ruthless Precision, Skull and Crossbones, or Broadsides, then it's not gonna tell you to reroll. If you have one of the 3 other ones, then it's gonna tell you to reroll. Or if you have 2 of the other ones, or all 3 of the other ones, it's also gonna tell you to reroll. But if you have all 3 of the other ones, you probably shouldn't reroll, man. Like even if it's 3 bad buffs, it's still 3 buffs, you know. I don't know if I'd reroll that. But Grand Melee and Buried Treasure, I would probably reroll it actually. Depending on what's going on though. Like if you have Roll the Bones, if you have like a bad buff up, but there's a lot of shit going on and stuff, you probably wouldn't reroll anyway. But that's for a different video. I'm going off topic here. But that's basically what this weakaura does. So it tells me if Slice and Dice is missing, it tells me if Blade Flurry is missing, it tells me if I should roll the bones or not, and it just shows a bunch of other uptimes and stuff like that. And but that's basically all my weakauras. I have some other ones as well that I use in dungeons. Like this one, it tracks the interrupts of my whole party. Like it's gonna show, it's not loaded right now, so I can't show you what it looks like. But in dungeons, it will come up here. Whenever someone uses a kick, it will come up with their CD, and when it's ready and stuff like that, helps me manage that. Prideful, when you do keys above level 10, it's nice to have this, because it shows up when This one shows up when the arrows that you have to dodge. This one shows up when you're buffed. This one tells you how much damage you're gonna take per tick. This one shows you when you have the thing on you, and yeah, this is just a really nice weakaura. It also calls out in the chat, and it helps you manage prideful a lot. So I really like this one. Then we have Shadowlands Dungeons. It's gonna lag a lot when I use it. All right, I'll try to put a link to this one as well. It's just different mechanics on different dungeon mobs and bosses that you want to keep track of. And I have a similar one for the raid, where you also, yeah, there's things you have to keep track of on different bosses and stuff. But yeah, man, that's basically my weakauras. So my UI is built up by Bartender 4 and weakauras. That's it, and then just regular Blizzard settings. So it's a pretty simplistic simplistic UI, but it's very nice, and it helps me play the game a lot more efficiently. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please put them below, or come by my stream, or go to my stream, find my Discord link below my stream, and join my Discord, because I basically always reply to my Discord messages within, like, I don't know, 5 minutes if I'm awake. Because yeah, it's really important for me to be able to help you guys. So any way you want to reach out to me, you can do it. You can comment below, you can come to my stream, you can come to my Discord, you can do anything you want. But yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, please ask me, because I'm happy to help you. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.